Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ant.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. We are your hosts, Mitch and Andrew. How's everyone today? Oh, sorry, Mitch and Andrew and Ant. Yes, Ant is here as well. How are you guys?
I'm
I'm
doing
doing
good.
so
Good.
glad the three of us are able to get together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my first time recording with Andrew. Andrew, it's really nice to meet you. You guys lived in the same area, went to go see movies together, and became friends. And now we have him on the podcast. We have someone else we can torture. Um, but thank you, Andrew, for being here. It's we're gonna talk some Bring Her Back, the new horror movie directed by the Philippou brothers. Oh, geez, I probably messed that up. But they are
Something
the
like
ones.
that. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
it pronounced a bunch of different ways.
they're actually known as Raka Raka on YouTube. They
That's
they
right.
they have been on YouTube as some sort of media content person, and they did Talk to Me, which was came out 2 years ago, I think. So this is their much awaited follow up that I had no idea about until I did my episode with Florence last episode, and that was so great having Florence on. I just want to say thank you again to Florence.
Yeah,
But Ant, now that I can see that your internet looks okay, how are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. I'm
Yeah,
doing great.
good, good. Have you
The new career change has been going good.
good? And have you been able to see movies
Yeah.
with this career?
Um, so for the past month, no, not really. Just because I was with a trainer, so I was at his mercy,
Mm,
and he was totally work focused. He didn't have much interest in doing anything. We were off time. He's just more of a chill guy, and that's fine, but that's not how I operate. So while I was on the road, I only got to see Mission Impossible and um, Final Destination, and I did those both on the same day. Going
okay,
forward, now I'll be on my own. I'll be able to see many, many more movies because I'll, really be able to tweak where I am and for my days off where I'll be. So yeah, it was great. It was great. I definitely
good.
missed the movies, but I enjoyed the career. So it's so much better than what I was doing before.
Good. Well, I missed you last week. I mean, but obviously I had the wonderful Florence, so I mean, it's really hard to say I missed you when I had her with me. But again, I did,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
no hard feelings.
I don't know. We might have a little bit of lag with Ant, but he's definitely here with us. But Mitch, you could just speak, right? This is your podcast. I am speaking, but thanks, Forrest. And Andrew, you said you're doing some sort of death race watching of movies.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, every month I'm in a Discord, and about every month there's it's mainly for the Criterion channel, which I have a subscription to. I also have a subscription to Mubi, and what they do every month is they have like movies that are leaving the services, and so I try to like essentially marathon basically write it down on like a Word doc and watch it like every month, like watch what's leaving every month. And during the week, I try to do it before work and after work. So, like in the morning, and then do part one in the morning, and then do two after work, and then two movies after work. In with dinner time as well, and do a lot of progress with that. And then on the weekends, it's like sometimes I have averaged about five movies a weekend. So You know,
So are they
it
just like older movies, or are they like a mix? You said just whatever movies are leaving, or
yes.
leaving Criterion. I'm sorry if I misunderstood that.
Leaving Criterion Channel.
Right.
So
Okay.
it is a mixture. I can tell you from what I've seen this month that they have a collection on there called Fun City, which is a lot of movies that were made in the 1970s that were based in New York City. So it was stuff
Cool.
like Black Caesar, Cotton Goes to Harlem, a movie that I really liked called Little Murders that just holds up so well today.
Okay.
And a couple others. And then I think this morning I saw a movie called Hale County this evening.
Yes, yes, that's a new one.
Yeah, and that, yeah,
Great movie.
yeah, that was a great movie, a great documentary.
Documentary. Yep.
And then I think I saw Brady Corbett's first movie, The Childhood of a Leader, as well.
Oh,
Yeah, and that pretty much, like, you can see the seeds of where the Brutalist came from that movie.
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, so that that tends to be what I do. I you know, don't get to. I do go. I kind of had change as well. I moved back to my hometown, so I don't get to go to like art house theaters as much as I used to, and so when I do, I have to go on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. I well, that's really cool. I have
Yeah.
found myself really struggling to watch things at home the last little bit. I've got a lot going on, but I will get there. I've been watching the Netflix superhero shows. So like I started with Daredevil season one, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, The Punisher. I'm making my way through those. So I don't know why, but I just started it, and season one of Daredevil was so good that I kept going, and that's been fun for me. And then yeah, I tried to finish it today, but I had the kids all day, and luckily I did start like that the Predator movie,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Killer of Killers. Did you see
yeah.
it?
Nope.
No. No.
No. So I watched it's like three stories,
Yeah.
and I watched the first one, and I'm kind of glad I did because my oldest would not have liked it. It was very, excuse me, it is very graphic, which is good. Like I was like, the first story is like really cool. It's like a Viking leader, female leader, and she's got like a young son, but like they're just going in and like ravaging cities, and obviously the predator lands and sees these people, and was like perfect people to fight, right?
Yeah.
And it is really cool. I can't wait to watch the rest. One of my friends in one of my Facebook groups said like it's better than Prey, um, like so that's high praise for me. But
Yeah. It's gotten great reviews.
yeah. So, Ant, why don't you talk to us about the summer movie preview a bit? I've got it up as well, so we can kind of you have it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I got it up.
Okay.
Before we go there, I want to mention to you and anyone
Sorry.
listening about back to the Criterion. Have either of y'all seen the Criterion Closet videos?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I love them. I went through last weekend, I think, and I watched every single one of them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Willem Dafoe. Or go ahead.
Someone was just in the Criterion Closet that I just saw, and a lot of people were talking about. But yeah,
Yeah, great
uh,
videos. So
yeah,
you guys are on them. So yeah, anyone listening, they're great. They're like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of celebrities and all kinds of people just going into the closet and pulling out movies. Um, oh, who's the redhead? The really cool Natasha Leone.
Oh yeah. She had a
yeah.
great video.
She has some awesome picks. It's just cool to see. And even what's her name from Anora? Like it surprised me that even some of these younger actors and actresses know some old movies. Like that's really cool.
The
Oh
the
yeah.
one I
Okay.
like. I'm sorry.
No, you go, buddy. Yeah.
Well, the one I liked was Pamela Anderson's,
I
and
haven't seen hers yet.
it, her taste is incredible.
Cool.
She has like the best mood. She was like pulling out Wanda and like Igmar Bergman movies and
Oh,
Wow.
like I was I wasn't expecting that,
No.
and then when you see the last Showgirl, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Which
Why she picked that?
I still want to watch that just because I love a good performance, especially from an actor who we haven't seen in a while or is changing it up. Um, but no, the one who was just in the Criterion Closet was Michael Cera. He was just
Yeah.
there's a
Oh
new
yeah,
video
yeah,
of him.
yeah.
So that's why a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, like why haven't we seen?" No, somebody said Michael Cera seems to be built to be in Wes Anderson movies.
I
Why
heard
is
that
it
too, and it's
his
so true.
first? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is so true. Has anybody seen that movie, the new Wes Anderson one? You
You
have?
did?
I have.
Did you what? Give us a star rating or some little thoughts.
Well, from my Letterboxd, I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
It kind of, and considering the fact that either of you haven't seen it, I'm going to kind of be careful. It kind of felt like the greatest hits, if you would, of Wes Anderson rather than a movie that had like intentional story behind
I
it.
heard I heard another critic say basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Both
Like,
Mitch and I did not like his last one.
No, did you, Andrew?
which one?
Asteroid City?
I probably it. I liked it after I watched it. At the time, I was like not
Right.
as keen on it. But then I turned around and bought the Blu-ray, so that tells you.
Yeah, I've just had enough of Wes Anderson, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. Like, of course I love some of his movies. I even like The
Mhm.
French Dispatch, but I'm just
Yeah.
tired of it.
I find that I remember a lot about
Mhm.
Asteroid City. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? It has stuck in my brain some of the things,
Right.
but I would never go back and sit down and watch it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or like if yeah, I guess if you had the Blu-ray, it's one that I could just have on in the background maybe, but I wouldn't be invested. I would go back and watch the Grand Budapest in a heartbeat. And what's the one
Definitely.
with what's the
Bottle
one with
Rocket?
Bruce Willis and Edward Norton?
Oh, Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise
Moonrise,
Kingdom.
yeah.
I'd watch that
Great
like
movie.
right now. Like
Yeah.
yeah, French Dispatch is good. But yeah, anyways. So
Yeah. All right. Well, so yeah, I can get into the box office. I just wanted to mention a couple little tiny tidbits
yes.
over the weekend. So this was Ballerina, or From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, which is just a mouthful of a title.
Yeah.
It opened to number one at 25 million domestic, 50 million worldwide, which isn't good because it was
No.
projected to open between 30 and 40 million. But
Wow.
the story here, which is and it's not good because the critic reviews are great, audience reviews are great, cinema score was an A minus. So
Oh.
all the factors are there to make it open well. But the story I think here is, and this relates to Thunderbolts as well, 65% of the audience was male. And for
Right.
Thunderbolts, it was 63%.
Right.
And for big blockbusters, you really want as close to a 50-50 split gender. And you want, a 25% split for race, Latin American, white,
Mhm.
black. That way, they call it a 4-quadrant movie. You guys have heard that term. And so, yeah, it just kind of shows that there's a story like they're marketing to women or using women in the lead role as a way to appeal, like, hey, it's a badass chick, come see the movie. But apparently it's not bringing women out to the theater. So it'll just be interesting to see what lessons it gets taken, if any. Maybe that's 2 sample sizes of movies, but you want more women to see these big tentpole movies in order for them, because if more women had come out, then that number would have been closer to 30-40 million. And maybe it'll find an audience. It's only week 1, the story's never written in just the opening weekend. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Do you have any thoughts on that, either of you?
I think the trailers were awful.
Mhm.
And near the they didn't really show any of what was going on. I knew it was connected to John Wick, and they definitely tried to make you realize that with the title and John Wick being in the trailers. Like they
Yeah.
really near the end, they really started to push John Wick being in the movie. Whereas, like, I think have you seen this? I'm sorry, Andrew. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have. Okay. So
Yeah.
my question is, and you don't have to spoil anything, but is John Wick in it a lot?
Yeah.
Oh,
Towards
he
the end.
is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Towards the end.
okay. See, and I
Towards the
thought that
end.
was just going to be like a cameo kind of thing. So I thought them putting him in the trailers was like, is he really going to be in it? But no, that's good to hear then.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like
so
an enhanced cameo, kind of.
Yeah.
I would call it.
oh, I didn't
It's
know you
more
saw
more
it
than a
too.
cameo, less than a full character in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you guys talk about it for just a little bit then?
I actually didn't finish it because I had
Right.
terrible pink eye that I like. My eye was just watering. I couldn't look at the screen, so I left. So I'm planning to go watch it tonight.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
and,
probably not fair for me to share my thoughts since Ant hasn't seen it. I would be in danger of spoiling it for him, but
Yeah,
do
we could
you,
hold off, Mitch, till
yeah.
you
for
watch it,
sure,
right?
for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. It's good to hear that the ratings were good because I did not actually know that. So
Yeah, man,
I,
A minus cinema score. And
okay,
then critics was like 78% on Rotten Tomatoes,
yeah.
95 for audiences. So like people like it.
And Anna's good, and I like the John Wick
Yep.
franchise. It hasn't had like a real bad movie in
I
there,
think they've
so
been great, yeah.
yeah. Well, that's too bad that
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to mention that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. So it's like it makes me think, okay, how's Fantastic Four gonna do?
Yeah.
You know,
Fantastic Four is going to do well. I don't think
oh,
I don't think it's going to have any issues. I'm
yeah,
gonna.
yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
putting my money down. I think it's going to do well, but I am
Do you remember
still
where you put it on the summer movie wager?
good segue. I thought you were
Money
going to
where
say
put your money where
last
your mouth
year's.
is.
Yeah. So where
So
did
you
I
have
put it?
it as number 5,
Mm-hmm.
right
Under
below Superman.
Superman, How to Train Your
Yep.
Dragon, Lilo and Stitch, and Jurassic World. I think my biggest mistake was putting Jurassic World at the beginning. I think How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch are going to be our 1 and 2.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I also have Jurassic World as my number 1. Because that last one or the last couple have made
Yeah,
into the billions.
yeah,
So we'll see.
yeah. We'll see. And so this is the summer movie wager. It is through the podcast, the Filmcast, right?
Filmcast, yep.
Yeah, the Filmcast podcast, and all three of us have picked our top 10. Andrew is currently winning with 18 points. He had Mission Impossible at number 1, and then 28 years later at number 2. And then, so he's got a few movies out. I'm at number 2 at 17 points, and Ant is at number 3 with 14 points. But he only has 3 of his movies out right now. So it is still very early to tell
Yeah.
which way it's going to go. The movie I completely forgot about was Elio, which I have I don't even have on my list.
I think I messed up with me having that so high because I have it at number 4, and that's Pixar's next movie, and it's an original, and so far all the movies that have been doing well in the last couple summers have been sequels, remakes, reboots.
Hmm.
So we'll see. I'm not confident about Elio.
Yeah. You know what trailer I saw? And just before Bring Her Back, and I'm really actually excited for now, is Megan 2.0. The trailer,
Oh yeah.
the trailer looks funny and silly, like they know what they're doing. I'm interested. I am on board, which is weird.
I think it's a great trailer. I've seen pieces of it while trying to ignore it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think you're right. I think they know what they have, and I remember really liking that first one. It was
Me
very
too.
funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bring Her Back, do you want to jump into that since that's a movie we've all seen?
And I think that is a wonderful idea. Do you want me to set her up?
Yeah, go
Or
for it.
all right.
If you have it up.
You don't have to tell me twice if I have it up. I'm not that old yet. Anyways, so this is the movie, as I said earlier, from Danny and Michael Filippo, I think is how you say their name, or Raka Raka. It's written by Danny and another man named Bill Hinsman. This is their follow-up to Talk to Me, and it is starring Sally Hawkins, Billy Barrett, and Sora Wong. They're the only one you'll recognize really is Sally Hawkins. I did know Billy Barrett from some things, but so a young blind girl and her older brother, their father dies at the very beginning of the movie. He dies, and they are forced to go live with a woman named oh shit, what was her name?
Laura.
Laura, thank you. And Laura is played by the incredible Sally Hawkins, and she has another foster son that she's taking care of named Oliver. Oliver is the one that you probably see on most of the posters, and so 17-year-old Andy and his younger stepsister are in foster care at this lady's house, and I guess a lot of weird things start to happen. It's really hard to say too much more than that. Weird things start to happen. Andy's character, since he's 17, he's going to be 18.
Yeah.
He cannot legally take care of his little sister, but him and his little sister are really close, Piper. And yeah. And so, but he knows in like 4 months that he can legally take care of his little sister and they can move out. So the movie kind of is like hinges on him maybe taking care of that, and Sally Hawkins maybe not wanting that to happen, and maybe having some sort of other ulterior motives. But that is about all I can say, because I don't want to spoil this movie for anyone. I don't think any of us probably had any idea where this was going to go. The first half hour, you're thinking, okay, there's some weird stuff going on here. Oliver seems a little bit weird, obviously. Even Andy takes a picture of him early on and sends it to a friend and says, look at this weird kid. And almost immediately, Sally Hawkins' character grabs that phone and goes through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of awkward moments in this movie. A lot of like you could just feel the awkwardness in your chest, like, oh my god, what is going on here? Oh my god, why is this happening?
Yeah, and Sally Hawkins' character Laura is, and this also is not a spoiler. From the jump, she is just too overly nice. Like know right away something is up. No, why would she be this friendly? She's got something else is going on. She's wacky. She's a little hipstery. Yeah.
She's like a hippie. She wears these big knit sweaters. Her hair is just super frizzy and long. There's something going on. But you just don't know what. I got a lot of Hereditary vibes.
Definitely.
Even throughout. Andrew, what were some of your thoughts?
Well, her character reminded me a bit of her character that she played in Happy Go Lucky, where she was like a school teacher that essentially was overly happy despite the world being terrible, and it being a Mike Leigh movie, of course. That's that's kind of his bread and butter apparently. So that I haven't seen that movie, but from what I saw of it, or what I saw of Happy Go Lucky, rather, it made sense. I didn't really get that much of a sense of the Hereditary vibe to it. And then I have some other thoughts as well that we can talk about.
Yeah. I want to mention, Mitch. You were going to say we were going to do a spoiler thing, but before we do that, we could say the actual opening scene of this movie is. I think that's okay to say because it's the opening scene, right? The movie opens up with someone recording what looks like initially, almost. I thought it was like bondage S&M. Like a dark, like a Red Rooms, someone's recording people being tortured to sell on the internet or something.
Yeah.
So we see that for like 2 or 3 minutes in the opening, and then that cuts off, and then we jump to the story that Mitch just described. So that's, that tells you kind of like, okay, what's, those two things have to connect, like these people
Right.
and that twisted shit we see in the first 3 minutes. So I think that was a good job of them doing that, so that our minds are racing throughout, like, oh God, where is that going to connect? You see a scar on someone's face, and that scar you later see somewhere else. So it's like it's just like dropping little tiny hints, right?
Yeah, yeah. And even as this movie drops tiny hints throughout, you're still not necessarily ready for the bombshells that kind of drop. There's one or two of those that I found I was kind of like, okay. And maybe not necessarily bombshells, because things get so weird that you're like, okay, I'm ready for almost anything to happen now. But even when those crazy things happen, you're still shocked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the movie, and I will say this too before we go into spoilers, for anyone considering watching it, it's incredibly bleak and traumatizing, and maybe even triggering for certain type of people. I would have a hard time recommending this to many people. They would have to be big horror fans,
Big, yes.
Or
because there's no
suckos.
real jump scares in this. It's really like just what's the worst, craziest thing we can put on screen and keep our rating, which I'm impressed they were able to do, because some of this stuff you see in this is brutal.
Yeah. Having watched, there's a certain type of film style called Giallo.
Yeah, Giallo. Yep.
Giallo. It reminds me so much of that when I was
Yeah.
watching it. I just was flashing back to having seen All the Colors of the Dark, which, basically kind of almost delves into the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm looking that up now. Because I was just forced to watch actually not forced to watch. I picked it, but it was
Yeah,
through,
you just watched.
I watched Solo, or 120 Days of Sodom. See, okay, well, this is a little diatribe, but whereas like Solo, I felt kind of coincided with some things that happened in history, so I didn't necessarily find it too like exploitive. Whereas like a Serbian film is more made just to shock you and whatever. This one I found borders that we're trying to shock you line, but
Yeah.
also keeps it in this is the storyline, because it doesn't like, there's some crazy shit that happens, but it's all in line with the story, and there was like, I'm like, why are they doing this? Oh, this was because of this, and I kind of it almost it was almost like Longlegs meets Hereditary meets like, I don't know, it was a lot. But
Well, let me ask you guys this, and then maybe we can jump into spoilers. Because so I worked at the AMC bar the other day, and I talked to a few people that were walking into this, and they were asking me about it. And one of them asked me this, and I want to ask you guys this. They were saying, "Oh, well, if it's so brutal, how does it compare to something like Terrifier?" And I was like, Terrifier. I'm like, Terrifier is kind of what you just said. Terrifier is there to see how crazy stuff can I show you to get you to look away. This is, I don't know. What would your answer to that be?
Terrifier is this generation's Saw movies, where it's like they're completely different in tone and style, but they're there to shock you, and but it's all a little, it's all fake, and everyone's kind of in on the joke, and seeing how crazy it can get. With this movie, it's rooted in reality, and that's what makes it creepier and a little scarier. And when these shocking things happen, you're actually shocked, because you're like, I left saying, wow, this is like something I would read online and almost not believe it happened, and be like this.
It's like a copy pasta or creepy pasta.
I was just gonna say creepypasta, like like that or something, and you'd read it and be like, did this really happen?
Yeah.
I mean, I could almost believe it because people are fucked up enough, but it sounds crazy.
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's
anyways,
good answer. Yeah.
Andrew,
So
what do you think? Do you
yeah,
think
what
it
do
was
you have to
like
say to
too
that?
much, or do you think it was rooted in reality?
I think it was rooted in reality.
Okay.
I also felt like Bring Her Back told a better story overall versus
Definitely. Definitely.
For
Terrifier. Like,
sure.
yeah, like Terrifier 3, I think I've never been so I that came close to getting like half a star from me
Oh no.
Mm.
cuz I Terrifier 3 I didn't mind the gore. What I minded was story beats that had nothing that basically didn't pay off.
And
That were that were just there and it was like why why is all this characterization going towards these characters that have nothing to do that essentially don't even pay off in the finale? Like
right.
that's like I kind of came away from it feeling like the director of Terrifier needs to let someone else write his movies. Like it was kind
Oh,
of a
and edit. And edit.
yeah,
And edit.
and
Yes.
edit his movies because he should not try to write characters.
Yeah, and
See,
that's what makes this scary
Yeah,
or like disturbing is because like this has characters that you feel
yeah,
for, right? Whereas in
yeah,
Terrifier, it's like, okay, yeah, I saw them in the bathtub. Okay, I don't care about them. In this one, I'm like, oh, I do care about Piper and the brother, you know?
yeah,
you are in Andy's shoes for a lot of this movie because his little sister only sees, well, okay, I apologize, pardon the, but she only sees so much or hears so much because she is blind, but like, so she's not getting the full story.
hmm
And so you're in Andrew's shoes, obviously, but I'm just gonna say before we hop into spoilers, I do want to go around and ask everyone if they liked it or what their star rating would be. But I would just say, as this movie has a lot of trigger warnings,
hmm
as in child abuse, animal abuse, all that stuff. The one that I find hard for me is gaslighting. This movie has a
Yeah.
lot of
yeah,
gaslighting and a real like people being made to feel like they're mentally insane when they're actually not. And
Yeah.
that
right,
can be hard for someone like me who has some mental health issues. Like, so I just, that's one thing I really want to say. If that's something that bothers you, I would maybe try to stay away from this movie because there were some times where I'm like, ooh, I don't like this feeling, but it didn't really bother me that much. But there's a lot of trigger warnings in this movie. I use the app Does the Dog Die? It will tell you any triggers that you are worried about. I go on there sometimes just to look at the ones that I don't like. One little weird one is car crashes because I don't like jump scares. And whenever I see someone in a car, I'm always like hiding behind my hands because I'm waiting for them to get in an accident. So that one
Yeah.
is one that I pin to the top. So, Andrew, how'd you feel about this movie, like star rating wise? And
yeah, yeah. I ended up rating it 4.5 stars.
nice,
I'm probably a sicko,
nice,
but it just it gave me the same feeling that Long Legs did when I saw that movie
yeah,
last year. But that Long Legs, like that had I felt like I couldn't move from my seat when I watched that movie.
yeah.
And the Bring Her Back kind of the start was slow, which is a valid complaint, but I was enthralled by it, and I saw it at like one of the mystery movies or the screen unseens. So
Oh,
Hmm.
on like a Monday night, so I got to see it before it came out over the
cool.
next weekend. So
I think that slow start can be attributed to them having to build the
yeah,
characters and a really
yeah,
good story. I'm not disagreeing with you. It does have a certain plot that it has to build, but yeah. Anne, how did you feel?
So I rated it 3.5, and actually one of my main complaints because it's, or the reason it's not higher is because of that slow start. I was like, so, I wish I had seen it at the unseen, because by the time I saw it, I had some expectations. I heard it was brutal. I heard it was
Hmm.
crazy. So I think, like, yeah, right at the hour mark, or maybe hour 15. And I knew it was only an hour and 45 minutes, I think. I was kind of like, all right, let's get going. What are we doing here? Like, what's going to happen? So I just felt the runtime a little bit, um, but it's still a good movie because it had characters I care about. There's a sense of dread throughout. The acting is just incredibly
Yeah.
strong by everybody here. The little boy, Oliver, um, especially Sally Hawkins, she is just terrifying. um, and the filmmaking's cool too. There's a lot of symbolism with circles. There's
Hmm.
a cool scene where the camera, like when they arrive at the house, we're see through like a lawn ornament that's a circle, and like the camera starts to spin as if like this house is gonna be crazy. So it's very good. 3.5 stars. But man, I don't know how soon I'm gonna watch it again.
This is the movie that I want to show people. Like if I have like a good friend or somebody who's like, "Hey, like let's watch a good horror movie," I would put this on. I'm 5 stars on this. This is my second 5 star of the year
Nice.
after
Nice.
Sinners. I'm very happy with it. I had high expectations, but I was locked in from the beginning. So you guys saying the long beginning, or sorry, not long beginning, but it takes a little while to get going. I was just so locked in on everything. Like as soon as Sally Hawkins pulled up, I was like, okay, this is we're in for a ride, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
we are.
and I have another complaint that I'll get to once we go to spoilers.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so I'm five. So we got a 5 star, we got a 4.5, and we got a 3.5, which almost made me want to kick Ant from the group chat here. But so we're gonna get into some spoilers now. I'm gonna write down like 37 minutes. Ant, why
Yep.
don't you start us off then?
Yeah. All right. So the the another complaint I had was I think the storytelling was just slightly muddled in the sense that we get a hint that Sally Hawkins specifically targeted this family, and there's a hint that she might have actually had a part in killing their dad.
Oh
Did you guys pick up on that?
No.
no.
There is a point where when she takes Piper to the gym, it seems as if Piper had been there before. Not the gym, but like the play area,
Yep.
wherever she goes. It seems like she'd been there before. And maybe Sally Hawkins had seen her there before, the way she talks to the clerk there.
Right.
And so did she see her there before? And then and that's how she knew, because she knew Piper was blind, and her daughter was blind. And then so yeah, maybe I made that up in my head. But then the other thing was the ritual to bring her daughter back, I thought was kind of confusing too. Um, how
Yeah.
did the timing, how did she get the timing so right that she knew that?
Yeah.
And then how did she keep her daughter dead without anyone noticing while the other kid eats parts of it? Like, and how does she know exactly when is the right time to have Piper drown so that the demon can come out of Oliver and take over Piper's body? Yeah. So those like tiny, tiny things where I'm like, wait, that those lines don't perfectly meet up. It's not a big deal. But what
I
do you think about that?
I um I think the one thing I can say is that it's fairly obvious by the decomposition of the body that she dug the body up once it was buried. I think.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because if we look at the decomposition, some of the way the body looks, I think it must have been after she had been buried, and so
Okay.
I'm guessing she, because if we hear from the girls at the foster home, she'd been working there for like 20 plus years. I think she quit after the daughter died. That's
Hmm.
when she kind of because it seems like she wouldn't have let the daughter get buried unless if she had already known about the cult. I think she
Yeah.
found out about the cult, dug her daughter back up, put her in the freezer, found a boy because the boy had only been missing for 12 or 10 days, they said.
Yeah.
So found the boy Oliver, and then started this process because we see her watching the VHSs, so she's clearly new to the cult.
Yeah, she's using those as instructions, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like but I definitely agree with you. It is a little confusing when you like um, uh, uh, get the body, consume the body, put the body into the other body.
Yeah.
I mean, and then kill the person in the way the other person was killed. I mean,
Yeah.
I did like how it all came together because then when I was thinking back on the VHSs, I was like, oh, okay, so they showed that there was a person laying on the ground, they had been hung, and that's why the other person was being hung because they had to die. Like, I
Yeah. Oh,
liked
yeah,
putting some of that together. But there's definitely some room for, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Andrew? Oh no,
I-
I was just kind of passing the torch.
No. Well, I was gonna say I kind of felt like the whole cult aspect. I will agree it was probably the weakest aspect of the movie.
Mhm.
It was like they didn't want. They wanted to almost step up to the line of saying, "Yeah, she's part of a satanic cult." It wasn't like, and that's why I point to all the colors of the dark, which they come when you watch. If you ever get a chance to watch that movie, they come right out and say what it is they're part of, and it's pretty cut and dry. What the characters are doing and what the main character is trying to escape from. So I felt like with Bring Her Back, they wanted to be spooky, but they didn't want to say, yeah, she's definitely trying to be part of a satanic cult. She's
Yeah.
and but she, obviously didn't get certain things right. Like she sets up a circle, and that's as far as she got.
Yeah. And why would she leave Oliver and the boy at the house, like
Yes.
without him being
Yeah.
locked up?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, lady?
Yeah, and because she didn't even say to Andy, "Don't feed him, don't do this." She just
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
left, and
Yeah.
that was the one part. And the other thing, I'm pulling this movie apart. We can. It's easy to pull this apart if you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
But Andy could have called the police a lot earlier, I think.
True.
Especially when it came to that Oliver boy, because he was definitely being abused in some ways, and just being locked in a room. I mean,
Yeah.
if he had seen her do that to his little sister, locking her in a room,
Yeah.
he would have called
Yeah.
the police, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think
But-
from what I remember, either he had like really poor phone reception, so he wasn't able to
Did
make
he?
a call. Yeah,
Okay.
from what I remembered.
But we saw him. Yeah, maybe so. We saw him texting his friend. Remember, like that's
I
what she
think
said.
that was
Oh,
on-
he's fucking weird.
I think that was on Snapchat, so it might have been a Wi-Fi thing opposed to
Yeah.
cell. or
True.
something, I
True,
don't
true,
know.
true. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she did live in a remote area, so that's true.
Yeah,
I did like the kill. Like I thought it had guts to kill the boy and Wendy.
Agreed.
That was like, whoa, no way.
Me too.
Yeah.
I agreed. Yeah, and the way he died, and then what happened like after, obviously. I just found it, like it was so tense, and I have to say, with the cult thing, I don't think she fully understood what
I guess
she
so,
was doing.
yeah.
yeah,
I liked kind of her watching the VHSs a couple times. It almost seemed like a woman who's trying to figure out yoga and she's watching it, or like that. Who is that woman that was like, hold it, and if it doesn't bring you joy, like some woman watching that and like, yeah, I'm gonna do that kind of.
Yeah.
It was more fucked up, but it was
Right.
like in the same
because it's a
vein.
cult.
Exactly, as like watching Martha Stewart trying to do something, and then you're gonna copy it. Except
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is like, I paid $8,000 on the black market for these VHSs, and I'm gonna. But there's some really. I apologize. I'm talking a lot because I love this movie, but there's some really good cinematography here. Obviously,
yeah.
with the circle, her
Right.
on the window. We see that
Yeah.
in the trailer.
The house enclosed with the circle,
Yeah,
Yep.
so when
the
you
the
see
wide
that,
shot. Yeah,
what they do with the girl being blind, and so we see things through Andy's eyes, and then it's like, but then we see things and everything seems kind of okay. We see, but then we see things through her eyes, and she's trying to find the cat, and we see her walking along the lines and stuff, and you're like, oh, she's walking through this world, and she doesn't even know like how awful
right.
it is. And
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. We obviously we all like it. These are just
Yeah.
small nitpicks.
Some of us like it more than one person.
Yeah, yeah, you guys do.
I'm just kidding. I'm
I
bugging.
just love I just love Talk to Me so much. I mean, yeah, these guys are great. I can't wait to see what they do. I'm so impressed they were able to get this made in the way they were. Like, no way
Right,
any other studio besides A24 would have taken this on.
right.
Yeah. And that's why we're lucky to
So,
have 824. But I personally think this is a whole star better than Talk to Me. Um, I like this a
oh,
lot
really?
better.
Okay. Yeah, so
This
see,
is more,
I still like Talk to Me over this.
yeah, and I get it. I completely agree with you. I just on a rewatch, Talk to Me didn't fully work for me as much as it did the first time. So
I haven't
Cool.
seen Talk to Me, so probably at some point
yeah, I
during
would love
what
to hear
what
your thoughts.
I'll probably watch it like during my marathon day on
Yeah,
the weekend.
Yeah, especially if you like this one, man, check out
Yeah,
Talk to Me.
yeah.
yeah.
So that's all I have about to say about it. If unless you guys want to say more, we're about 15 minutes until the hour, and Andrew and I were going to talk a little bit of
Yes.
Mission Impossible. What do you cool
Yep.
with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys talk Mission Impossible. I'll set it up. It stars Tom Cruise. Okay, go.
Yeah. All right. So Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning,
Right.
which originally was called Dead Reckoning Part Two. They changed the title. There's this whole background to this. I don't really think I need to explain it. Um, just that the first one didn't do as well because it came out 10 days before Barbenheimer. So they changed the title to not scare people off, I think, since not as many
Mhm.
people saw that, part one. So the last two Mission Impossibles I absolutely loved like a lot. Fallout and Dead Reckoning Part One I thought were freaking fantastic all the way through. And this one I like quite a bit. So of course it has Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Isai Morales, Palm Clementif, and a whole slew of other. Nick Offerman has a small part. Angela Bassett's got a few
Hannah
minutes.
Waddingham was in this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hannah Waddingham, Shea Wiggum. There's a whole bunch. Katie O'Brien has a few minutes from Love Lies
Nick.
Bleeding.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Carrie Elwes is seen in this. So yeah, I mean everybody knows what Mission Impossible is. So my review of this is I thought it was fantastic. Again, directed by Christopher McQuarrie and probably Tom Cruise. Um, this is a 3-hour action movie, and I think the first hour for me was the worst because it was just basically flashbacks to the previous entries in the franchise and retelling us what happened in Dead Reckoning Part 1. But I might be wrong in that being my least favorite part because other people I've talked to, like my dad and some friends who saw it, they were like, "Oh, I'm so glad they included that part because I had no idea about all this stuff." So it's like I get it. Like they need the
Yeah.
casual fans to get it right, and then for people like us that live and breathe movies, I didn't need it because I already knew this. I saw Mission Impossible, the first Dead Reckoning, a couple of times. So outside of that, I thought it was awesome. The last 2 hours were as good as they always are. The stunts are incredible. What Cruise is doing at 62 is incredible. Same thing I said about the last one. Um, it closes things up in a nice bow at the end. They say this is the last one. We'll see. That's never true. Um, but there's two big set pieces stunts. I would say something involving a submarine, which is payoff from the first one, and then the stuff you've seen in the trailer and on the poster is the airplane acrobatic trapeze type stuff, which is just incredible. It's just amazing. They had to have shot it several times with him actually being in the air. I wish Rebecca Ferguson was here instead of Haley Atwell as the girlfriend, love interest, whatever. Like her role is pickpocketer, and it's a little thin because like at one point they're like, we need your pickpocketing skills. But overall, fantastic. Check it out. You can watch it with all ages. I would say there's nothing really too violent in it. And I would definitely watch it again. What did you think of it, Andrew? I gave it 3.5 stars, probably 4. I think I'd bump it up to
Yeah.
4.
I gave it 3.5 as well. I'm probably not as enthused about it, unfortunately.
Sure.
I had seen basically past Mission Impossible 3. I hadn't really seen it, so leading up to it, I've watched like each one. So for me, like it kind of it um it kind of peaked at like Fallout was like 5 stars for me, and then it just sort of it was going up, and then it hit a peak at Fallout, and then it just kind of greened down for me a bit. So
Really? Okay. Because
yeah,
I would say Fallout and Dead Reckoning are the best ones. Although I haven't
yeah,
seen the others in a while, but those Fallout was so good. That's the one with Henry
yeah,
Cavill, Mitch, where
yeah,
he reloads his arms.
yeah,
Remember, he's
Sorry,
like his.
I
yeah,
did mute myself just because I wanted to let you guys have the floor and I don't shut the fuck up. But I love that one, and the last one was good, Dead Reckoning, and then what was the other one you said? Fallout?
I know.
No,
I just said Fallout and Dead Reckoning Part
Rogue
1.
Nation.
Rogue
Oh,
Nation.
Rogue
See, I
Nation.
love
Yeah.
Rogue Nation as well,
Yeah,
and I was a fan of the first. Like the first one, the second one kind of fell off, but then when that third one came out, I was back in. So I've been a fan all along.
Yeah, the third one has Philip Seymour Hoffman, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's a good villain. Yeah.
yeah,
He's a great villain.
yeah,
Yeah, so this franchise, this series is great. Oh yeah, that's right. The third one was Seymour, and then the fourth one was Ghost Protocol, then Rogue Nation,
Right.
yeah,
then Fallout, then Reckoning. So you know what's crazy is Rogue Nation is 2015, so that's 10 years old now.
See, the thing with these movies is they're incredibly similar in some ways, but they're also different enough that that like you don't know what's gonna happen. You're not like
hmm
sitting there like, oh, same old, same old. There's so much
Yeah.
good stuff in
yeah,
it. But the one thing I have to say is that people are still complaining about is they put in a bad guy from one of the early movies who wasn't actually in one of the early movies, and that's Issei Morales' character,
Yeah,
Gabriel.
yeah,
And it has really thrown some people for a loop who
yeah,
have been a fan of the franchise. And I haven't seen this one, but I just know he was in the last one, and people are still talking about it, that it's bothered them.
So you know what this is, Mitch? To give you a perspective,
Sure.
this is the exact same thing that James Bond did with Christoph Waltz. They bring Christoph Waltz in.
Right.
Remember when Christoph Waltz is like, "I'm the engineer of all your pain, James." Like they try and say
Right.
Christoph Waltz is what caused all of James Bond's problems. Exact
Mhm.
same thing here. It is a little cheap and like trick of writing. So I get that complaint. He's not a great villain. Like we don't know much
That's
about him.
And
You
I have
know,
to
he's not
say,
a
like,
sympathetic villain.
Issei Morales is no Christoph Waltz, even, right? And even Christoph
Right.
Waltz didn't work so necessarily with those movies.
Not for
So
that movie, no.
you need to have, like I was gonna say, like Christoph Waltz has played one of the best villains of all time. So like,
Yep.
who else could you get? But yeah, you
All
need
right.
to have someone better. So I don't know. Anyways, that's
Yeah,
my 2
no,
cents.
that's a very, very valid criticism. And I just think that I just think the stunts and action kind of like it takes me away from worrying about those
It
things, you know.
elevates it. Whereas like
yeah,
Definitely.
by John Wick 4, I was like a little tired of some of it. I like John Wick 4, but like the Mission Impossibles are so different because there's so
Yeah.
much going on and great characters. You're like Rebecca Ferguson's character and Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell and Ving Rhames and everybody. Like it's just I don't know. I like this
Yeah,
series.
you know, yeah, another complaint actually, and this isn't a spoiler necessarily, but Ving Rhames should have gotten more in this, like
yeah, or just
for
in general.
yeah, well, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong from y'all's memory, I think he's been in every single one.
Yeah,
think he's always been Cruise's like dude, and he's just not used all that much here. The movie feels like it was probably rewritten or reshaped, which I think it was. It was, you know, they filmed it. They filmed Dead Reckoning Part One and Two all together. The budget inflated like crazy because it was during COVID shutdown. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to pick apart. Not like I'm not going to argue with someone who didn't love it, but like the stunts and the action just elevated it to where I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I saw it with a crowd of like mostly old people.
Mhm.
I saw like 11 a.m. In Pennsylvania, and they loved it. They were loving it and clapping and everything. So I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
going to
not.
see it, Mitch?
I'm definitely gonna see it. I'm just waiting on my dad. But then he said, you know what? He said today, you know what? We could just wait till it's out on video, and then we don't. I'm like, no, I'm going. I'll go by myself. But yes, Ving Rhames has been in every single one. But he's the
Okay,
only
yeah.
one
So for that,
besides Tom
yeah,
Cruise.
for him being in all of them, he deserved more in this one. What were you going to say, Andrew?
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, Vin Rames and Final Reckoning was like the best part of the whole movie. Like
He
his
was great.
yeah, his acting. He probably had the best acting it overall in the whole series in this
Yep.
movie because there was a little bit more of a nuance with his character and
Totally. And I care
yeah,
about him like a lot, you know, his
yeah,
character. I really do.
yeah, like just and someone I know on Threads was saying he would love it if they could do like a prequel movie about Luther.
It'd be so cool to see where Luther got
Yeah,
his skills, you know.
yeah, because I think with that it would be I think it would be there will be a lot of different aspects. It'd probably be like Halt and Catch Fire and Mr. Robot and like all those Cold War spy movies, and he's like essentially just breaking into the Pentagon because he can, and
Hmm.
you know, and who's going to stop him, you know? And I kind of hope they go in that direction rather than action spectacle all the time because I don't think I think it takes like one specific person like Tom Cruise to want to do that, but at the same time, the story aspect of the series of the Mission Impossible series, to be honest, some of the story aspects just aren't going to be that strong.
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
Like like
it's hard to how do you wrap up what's it, 7 movies, you
yeah,
know?
8.
I mean you
Eight.
have like I mean give you an example. They have like Jonathan Rice Myers in like the third one. All he says is all he says in that movie was I'm always copying, and I halfway expected him to show up in this and be working at like FedEx office with like and asking them how they want to do their copies today, just
Right, right.
just as a little throwback, but
Who?
no, they weren't going to do
Sorry.
that. No, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
Yeah.
Mitch.
No, I. Who do you have pegged as a young Luther then? As a young Ving.
Jonathan
man-
Majors.
My man Michael B. Jordan.
I was thinking Michael B. Jordan, but I think
Oh,
Jonathan
yeah.
Majors. I know
Yeah.
he's canceled, but no, that's good.
He could totally do Luther, right?
They have a
Yeah.
similar head shape.
Oh,
Yep.
that's true.
Like the forehead kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what? You're not as dumb as you look, Ant.
I was
Um,
joking, but but really, actually, I mean, after Magazine Dreams, Majors, it's just tragedy that he fucked his career up because he is
Yeah.
incredible.
I've clicked on magazine. I've gone to watch it twice now. I will watch it soon. I can't wait to talk about that. with
Yeah,
you.
it's a tough watch, man, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
He's like really, he's just a tough. He's just you feel so bad for this guy. Like you want to grab him and shake him and be like, be less weird, dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he kind of has autism.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say yes, but I don't think they say. I don't think they clock it. I don't think they actually clock it.
No, but
Oh,
he-
I thought you were saying in real life. Yeah.
no, the character.
No, the character.
Oh, okay,
The character.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what do we have coming out? We have this weekend. We have
How to Train Your Dragon.
Are you gonna
Um,
see it?
I guess I don't know. I might
Are you?
not see it. I might not.
Yeah, Andrew.
Oh, I'll see it. I have two others I'm going to see or try to see. I'm going to see Materialist,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm wanting to see The Life of Chuck. I'm going to have
yeah.
to figure
yeah.
out figure out where to see that at.
Oh, you know what else, Mitch? I saw this last night. I didn't even mention it. I don't know if it's on your radar. I think you would definitely like it. Dangerous Animals.
Is that this weekend?
It came out It came out Friday.
Right, it did come out Friday. Sorry. Yes, I was gonna say. I almost went and saw it on the Friday.
I could see you liking it. It's
Okay.
good. I'll hold off and saying anything until we review it. But it's fun. It's a good shark movie. Jai Courtney is the best he's been in a long, long time, if ever, maybe.
These are maybe the roles he needs, or just
Totally.
like some over the top villain, or
Yeah.
something like that.
He's pretty scary in this because he's big. He's jacked,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and he's
So
the premise. The premise is him kidnapping people and feeding them to sharks and filming it.
I mean, there you go. That's what he
Perfect.
needs.
Perfect.
It's an Australian movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm liking Australian horror.
Same.
Yeah, like they do a good job over there.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's what's coming out this weekend. The Materialist. That's Pedro Pascal, Dakota Johnson, and Chris Evans. So it's a pretty stacked cast. I don't know. I haven't heard any early reviews on that. Same with How to Train Your Dragon, but the early reviews on Life of Chuck, that's like an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Cool.
So one of
Yeah.
my friends who did see it at the Screen Unseen thing last week, he did not like it very much. But that's one person. So I'll be
Right.
excited to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Tom Hiddleston will do since he hasn't been liked that much anything outside of him playing Loki. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's pretty true. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it does well because I like him enough.
Hmm. When are we getting Fantastic Four? I'm excited for it. How
That-
long?
July.
July.
We're in July. No,
what
we're in
comes
June.
out- you know what comes out in 24 days?
28 days.
No. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yay.
Mm,
Hey.
yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
Hey.
I don't know,
I'm
man. The last
excited.
few Jurassic anythings have been not so good.
All right. Anyways, thanks for listening. No.
Woo!
Just,
Well,
I
and
think that's-
also next month we have Sorry Baby, but I
What?
Sorry.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah. Sorry,
Uh,
baby.
it's one of those A24 movies. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a woman finds a cat and she gets fired from being a professor somewhere. I
Barry Jenkins produced.
yeah, Barry
okay.
Barry never misses. So
And then I don't know. I
Oh,
saw
and
the
it's got
trailer.
Lucas Hedges. Okay.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for again, which I haven't seen in a while, but that movie Together with Alison
yeah.
Brie and Dave Franco. That looks like it could be
Cool.
this year's The Substance. It looks very creepy and body horror-ish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw the trailer with their eyes
The
touching or
eyes
something.
and
That looked cool.
stuff.
yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to Weapons.
Weapons looks interesting. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah.
like I saw the trailer for those two when I saw Mission Impossible with my
Except-
dad.
Mitch, you know who's in Weapons? That is a bad sign for me.
Who?
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner. See, people love her though on
I
TV.
know. I know.
But
But, you know-
Aaron Reich's in it. Like he doesn't.
Oh
have
yeah,
any
he was
track
good. He was. I like him.
record. Yeah. So well, anyways, yeah. Are we good to shut her down? Did anybody else have anything else to say?
That's all I have to say. I would just
Yeah.
say like we'll try and record next. But now that we've all
Yeah.
done it, if I'm on the road and can't, you and Mitch or you and Andrew should definitely do an episode.
Yeah.
You know.
That'd be great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Andrew, it was great meeting you. Thank you for being
Awesome.
on and filling
Thank you.
in the shoes. And as long as I'm not doing it the other way.
Handshake. There we go.
Yeah. And it was good to chat with you again.
You too, man. Good to
Yeah.
see both of y'all.
Safe on the road. And
I
everyone
will do my
else,
best.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Hollywood Persona. Feel free to email the show at thehollywoodpersona@gmail.com and make sure to rate, share, and follow on whatever platform you're listening to our show on. It's the little things that help. Thank you.
Oh, look,
And you little shithead,
you're staying here.
you're staying here.
All right. And I will hit stop. Everyone just stay on.